Good morning, ladies. I want to talk a bit today about a phenomenon that I've noticed in women who are 50 plus when they're starting a business or starting a passion project. So it doesn't seem to matter how successful someone has been. There is a common thread that I see repeatedly in groups of women that I'm coaching and one-on-one when I meet with them. And it is that regardless of how much we have succeeded in one area, when it comes to betting on ourselves, there's a whole nother person that emerges. And it's almost like that person inside of you that you turned away from when you were younger. So when we go in one direction, we walk away from another direction. And many of the women that I've talked to, especially recently, they are still feeding the fear of moving forward. So what happens is you get really excited, you're reading the books, you're in the community, you decide to bet on yourself and move forward. And then things happen, just like they do in everybody else's life. But things happen that specifically challenge your confidence and your belief in yourself and what you're doing. And it's almost like you step out and we just are asking for it. So what I've noticed is that there are people who are working very difficult jobs out in the field, like in the front line and all kinds of things. And they are faced with very severe challenges, like on a daily basis. And when those challenges come at them, they just respond. They have been trained to respond. But in other areas of their lives, they just fall apart. And that's what happens here. So it's really interesting because I have women that I talk with who have been extraordinarily successful in a corporate environment. And now they've made a decision and a choice to bet on themselves to start a business. And every little thing that comes up is a reason to doubt what they're doing. Every time someone doesn't like what they're doing, it sets them back. And so there's this constant restarting and restarting and restarting. And I get it because I've totally been there. The key, though, is again to be so tied into your values and your vision, your reason for doing this, and the value of it, that you almost just have to allow it to be there. You have to pretend until you have that confidence in yourself. And the feedback that you get from others doesn't matter. That's why we build community, because we're asking the wrong people. You're looking at what's happening out in your world and you're getting feedback. And instead of holding true to your goal and your vision, you're listening to all this negativity that you aren't even perceiving as negativity. You're perceiving it as rationality and I don't have time and all of these things that come in between you and what you really want to do. So I just want to ask you, what do you really want? And do you really want it? One of the biggest stumbling blocks when you are, let's say, 50 years old or older, is that most people are pretty comfortable. Like they don't really have to pursue that dream. And until it becomes a real pressing need or a real thorn in your side, and you can't stop thinking about it, that's the passion part of it. Often you just won't do what it takes to get there. So we don't want to be in a position where you have to do it. Although if and when that happens to you, it can be the best gift that you ever experienced. But what we want to do is understand that you have to do it yourself. So it's another obstacle. You almost have to develop within yourself the drive. You have to remember that dream. You have to remember the value and look for reasons why instead of why not. There are a million reasons why not. I could say, I'm too old to be doing this. I don't really need to be doing this. Why do I really care about gathering other women who are my age and want to renew a passion and be creative and really reflect on where they are and what they can contribute in the next 10 or 20 or however many years of their lives? There are many reasons, but you're asking yourself the wrong question. The question is really, why not? And how could I not express everything within me that God gave me? Because I absolutely believe that every desire in your heart was meant to be expressed. And that's why I really focus in our group. It's really about being curious. So if you start with curiosity and you ask yourself, why was I so much wanting to be this? Or why did I want to write a book? Or why did I want to record stories? Or whatever it is. Why did I want to dance? Or why did I want to run? Or why did I want to, whatever it is. And you really reconnect with that through curiosity, that gives you the seeds of the courage that is necessary to then start being creative in action. And that's what will take you to the actual execution and the end result of creating a bigger, more just expansive, bolder you, and then a bigger, bolder, more expressive, whatever it is, if it's a book or, it could be anything. So I just find it really interesting how resilient we have been in many areas. Like by the time you're 50, you've lost people. You may have been through divorce. You've been through raising kids. You've been through jobs. You've been through rejection. You've been through all this stuff. And then finally we come to a place where we bet on ourselves, and every tiny little thing just upsets us or discourages us or delays us or helps us procrastinate instead of actually moving into who we really need to be. So I just want to encourage you to be curious and take the time to ask yourself, who am I? Like, what is it that I still would like to actually pursue? Just ask yourself that, like between now and the end of the year, or whenever you hear this, in the next 90 days, what would be amazing? What could be an amazing thing that I could accomplish? Who could I be? Share with me. Be curious.